Campaign 2008, from the White House to the State House. Join us as the Illinois Channel connects you to the candidates, the conventions, and the issues that will determine America's future and the future of Illinois.
Next, from Chicago, on the evening of Super Tuesday, we hear from those attending Senator Barack Obama's campaign rally on why they support Senator Obama and what they think his being on the top of the ticket would mean for Illinois Democrats in the fall election. This runs about 30 minutes.
Terry Lang, thanks for joining us on this Super Tuesday night. Tell us a little bit why you're here. And one thing I'd like to know, as you look toward the November elections, what do you think it would mean for the Illinois Democratic Party should Barack Obama be at the head of the ticket?
Well, I think I would not want to be a Republican running in Illinois if Barack is the head of the ticket. I'll be honest with you there. But I think it would mean fabulous things throughout the nation. I think you would see enthusiasm that we haven't seen for those of us who are old enough to remember since the Kennedys. I mean, you would see excitement with young people. You would see new voters. And I think you've seen it already. I mean, when you're seeing thousands and thousands, and I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of new voters coming out throughout every state. I mean, you could go look at what he did in Idaho the other night when they said there's no Democrats going to show up, and you had tens of thousands of people showing up for an Idaho Democratic rally. You haven't seen that since Senator Frank Church and group like that. See, I'm old enough to remember all of that stuff. I could go, but I mean, this is the type of generation of enthusiasm that Barack is showing, and he'll show that throughout Republican districts, Democratic districts, swing districts, and he'll generate groups that have not come out and voted before because they have been disenchanted by politics in general. And they see him and they feel that this is the hope that they've been waiting for a long time. And I don't care if you're in the liberal North Shore area or you're in the conservative DuPage County or if you're in the central Illinois, or if you're in the deep southern Illinois. You're seeing these same type of crowds in Illinois, and I was out in Nevada for him. I've been in Iowa, and and I keep saying, when I was out in Iowa, I mean, there's about a half a dozen African Americans in the state of Iowa, but the crowds were unbelievable when we would turn around, and the enthusiasm of people just wanting to meet him.
You must have been talking to any number of these people on the campaign trail. What are they telling you? Why are they excited and energized by his candidacy?
Because of the belief that they have in somebody that's standing up there, saying it the way it is, not giving the stump type of speech that they've been hearing of saying, I'm going to put the two chickens in the pot type of thing. And, they're listening to somebody that's standing up there and talking about what the situations are today, feeling that he's talking from the heart, which he is. And he's telling them things that they not want to hear, but telling them the truth. And that's the biggest thing that Barack leads them to. And they feel that confidence, and they feel this excitement in him. And they don't feel threatened by anything that he's saying. And they feel that, here's a guy that talked about the Iraq War before he even was elected. He talked about, he's talking about health care. He's talking about things, and he's saying it. Maybe this isn't quite the way you want to hear it, but here's the way I stand on the issue. Here's the way it is. And that's what they're feeling comfortable about.
Let me ask you, you were a seatmate with Senator Obama in the Senate. At what point did he ever confer with you when he was kicking around? I've been curious as to at what point did he start thinking I should actually go for the presidency, because he was asked that when he had a press conference leaving the Capitol to go into the U.S. Senate. And I believe what he said to the reporter who asked, he kind of guffawed about that, like said, hey, I haven't even taken a seat in the U.S. Senate yet. Don't rush me.
And I can honestly say he did not. And we talked about this. We kid about it, when we talked a lot. And I was one of those few people that had a cell phone, and, still do. And we would talk about different things, and it was the end of the 2006 campaign, and we were alone at a rally, and we took a walk. And at that time, we started really talking about it. And he says, I've got it, Michelle and I are going to sit down. I'm going to sit there. And he said, I'll be calling you. And he did, and he called me. I was out in Florida on a vacation, and he says, we're going to do something. And I firmly believe that he really did not start totally thinking about it until maybe a month or so before that. But he, in the fall of 2006, still did not want to do it. I mean, there were people pushing him all the time, but he did not want to do it. It's hard to turn it down.
Well, I was going to say, I think that's something that for people to understand, I mean, should he be elected president, he didn't go into the U.S. Senate. And you're telling me, confirming this, he did not go into the U.S. Senate thinking in 2 years I'm going to run, or in 4 years I'm going to run for the White House.
Absolutely not. This was not his, it was not, here's the game plan, I'm going to do 2 years here, or I'm going to do 6 years here, or X amount of years. His plan was to go to elect to be U.S. Senator. When he sat in his office and we talked about it when he was going to decide to run for the U.S. Senate, his goal was to become, the second African American from the state of Illinois to be elected. We went through numbers. We looked at how he could be elected U.S. Senator. We knew that what we had to do to get him elected U.S. Senator. We knew that, in the tough primary we was going to have to go through and the odds that we were going to go through at that time. And, he knew, I told him that minute I was with him, and I was the only Democratic chairman out of 102 that stood up next to him the day he announced. And, and it was a big gamble.
Announced for the U.S. Senate.
That was for the U.S. Senate. And, when we did it, his goal wasn't saying, hey, Terry, by the way, after I get nominated and elected U.S. Senator, I'm going to run for president. That was never in the game plan. The game plan was, I want to be U.S. Senator, and then the rest propelled afterwards.
When he said,